Okay. Yeah. Who else had to wait for stuff last week? Okay, irritating to the max, isn't it? I'll tell you, my own words kept coming back to me all the time as I waited in lineups, as I waited for phone calls, you know, as I waited in the express line, and that guy in front of me had 21 items. And I kept going, no problem, no problem. I'm on assignment. My steps are ordered of the Lord. So last week we talked about how we're in that society where waiting is a hard thing to do. We don't know how to wait anymore. They shall not be ashamed to wait for me. That was the key verse last week. So what I've been doing is I've been sensing that some, if not all of you, what I said last week was that some or not all of you are discouraged or disappointed, either in the way things have gone in your life, or the lack of things that have been happening according to your heart's desires. And I felt like God told me that we needed to speak about understanding waiting. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. I think that's actually last week's PowerPoint.
Well, this part too, so.
Oh, did it? Okay, cool. That's
I guess
fine.
you were reviewing.
I guess I was waiting. That's okay. That's a good verse too. See? Sometimes when we're waiting for God, He's waiting for us. The young lions do lack and suffer, but they who seek the Lord shall not be able to get a good thing. See, I know that sometimes waiting can cause a little thing that happens. And what it is that we want to settle, or we want to compromise. We get tired of waiting, and that can start looking really appealing. But the Lord said to me to say to some of you, it's not about you becoming realistic. It's about you not believing the enemy about God's not coming through for you, so that you start making something happen. Remember last week we talked about Ishmael. We talked about different ones in the Bible that decided to give God a little helping hand. You know, the perfect picture of waiting is, you know, when a woman's pregnant. When she initially gets the promise and she's told she's going to have a baby, there's 9 months to wait. You can't rush the process. In fact, if you do rush the process, it can be detrimental to that new life. And so while she's waiting, that doesn't mean that now she sits and never does another thing. She carries on with life. She's doing things. She's preparing for when that promise is here. There's a lot of changes that take place. And some of us in the waiting have gotten frustrated and we've stopped preparing. So we're going to talk a little bit today about waiting. You have to remember this one thing, that when we talk about waiting, do not let the enemy tell you that God's not coming through for you. Don't let the enemy tell you that God's not faithful to you. Don't agree with the enemy that God has taken too long or He's too late. Agree with God about who He is. Yeah. He's trustworthy. He's true. We sang it today. He's forever faithful. Yes. Faithful to fulfill His words and promises. I want to remind you today of a few things. Romans 4:21 was, we're to be like Abraham, which is fully assured that what God had promised, He was also able to perform. And we are not to lose heart. You can just turn that off, because it's not the right PowerPoint. So Luke 18, verse 1 also is the story about the widow. Remember the widow? And she desperately kept imploring a judge to give her legal protection from an adversary. Remember that? But she received no immediate help. Now listen carefully. She received no immediate help. Did that mean help wasn't coming? No, she just didn't get it the first time, or the first 10 times she asked. See, in spite of the judge's resistance, she refused to be discouraged in her quest. See, sometimes waiting is a quest. It's like this journey you're on. It's this adventure you're on. And she persisted until she got her breakthrough. Verses 1 to 8. Read it. If you're in a place where God's been asking you to be persistent, read that story, verses 1 to 8. See, I believe that the goal of that teaching was to immunize Jesus' disciples against discouragement. See, He was giving them an example. We always have to remember, Jesus didn't tell stories because He was filling in time. Oh, I have 15 minutes to kill, so let's give a fluffy story that has no meaning. Jesus always said things because He was trying to leave a hidden treasure for us. He's trying to leave you a message. He's trying to tell you something. Why would He tell them about a woman that just persists and persists and He persists? It wasn't about marriage. It wasn't that she was nagging. He wasn't using it as an example of this crazy woman. He was using it as an example of, even with an unjust judge, She persisted